if, like me, lots of listeners out there are thinking, holy crap, I've got to do something about this right now. How does one become an AI safety expert?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't call myself an AI safety expert. And I think that's one thing that
just how do you get started?
Yeah.
What do you recommend?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I guess I'm more just giving a vague signal of like how the community thinks about itself. There's so much uncertainty in this space, right? That like everything is hedged all the time. A lot of what I've said is hedged. I don't know if AGI is possible. I don't know if it leads to this risk or whatever, 10%, 1%, blah, blah, blah. But I think the first thing would be to not trust, but verify. So if you find my story compelling,
the old KGB slogan.
There you go. Yes, exactly. You might just want to pick up a book called The Alignment Problem by Brian Christian. This is a really good book to read to get a kind of high-level sense of this risk class. John, you mentioned Superintelligence by Nick Bostrom, a really, really good read as a primer. It's like slightly out of date now, but it gives you all the concepts that you need. And then take a look at like some of the more skeptical literature on this as well. And I've tried to make a point of like interviewing skeptics on my podcast. Melanie Mitchell was one, or Netzioni is another sort of high profile people who say, well, maybe we ought not worry about this quite so much. I'm unconvinced by their arguments, but that doesn't mean that you will be too. I think you should listen to those and think like, do I find this actually credible? Do I think they have satisfactory answers to the arguments? Having done that, you'll probably have a pretty good thesis about what you think the risk comes from. And once you have that thesis in mind, you can start looking at organizations that are working on the thesis that you like, the risk class that you find compelling. So there are a bunch of organizations. Maybe we can link to some in the episode when it's published. But you
could tell I was inhaling like that. I didn't mean to cut you off with my inhale. All I was going to say is a great resource potentially to get started with is the 80,000 hours post by Ben Todd on being an AI safety researcher.
Perfect.
So Ben Todd was in episode number 497 of this program, and it was one of the most popular episodes of 2021. Now, Ben Todd is not a data scientist. He's an expert in cultivating an impactful career. So 80,000 hours is the number of hours that you have in a typical career. And so the 80,000 hours company that he co-founded is interested in helping you find some meaningful career. And they are big proponents of AI safety research as being perhaps the single most impactful career that you could choose to have today. And they think that to such a great extent that associated groups like the Effective Altruism Forum have blog posts, which I'll also post to, with titles like, does 80,000 hours focus too much on AI risk? They are very bullish on AI risk as a career. And Ben Todd, incredible writer and speaker. And so I'll be sure to include this in the show notes. But you were going to refer listeners to something else before I inhaled, rudely interrupting you.
No, I think I was overly sensitive on my inhale detector there. So my recommendation actually, so 80,000 hours is a great place to start your journey. You might be interested to know about a variety of different organizations that are working on related projects. So like obviously OpenAI and DeepMind, they both have very active AI alignment programs. And then there's also Anthropic, which was recently founded by former OpenAI VP Dario Amodei and his sister. And they're a really great organization. They're focusing almost entirely on safety related things. And they have, I think, already a couple of safety related papers out. Besides that, though, I think it's worth checking out organizations like the MIRI, the Machine Intelligence Research Institute. They're one of the most hawkish. If you're looking for a really pessimistic take on AGI that keeps you up at night, you may or may not want to check out MIRI. So they very much go straight for the jugular in terms of like, we don't have a solution to the alignment problem, doom and gloom, that sort of thing. So that's a bit of a darker path. But there are other organizations like OTT. So OTT is this startup that's doing AI safety related stuff. I think they're trying to productize some things as well. Anyway, there's a whole ecosystem around this space and a lot to dig into. I would recommend like slowly working your way through AI alignment literature if you really want to contribute to like the technical safety stuff. And a good paper to start here is called Concrete Problems in AI Safety. And this was in, I think, 2016 it was written, but it's a really good starting point for this sort of deep dive.